So it's been Tony Blair who has finally come out and is trying to talk some sense into Sir Keir Starmer with regard to the Labour Party's obsession. And that's the only word that can be used to describe it. Current obsession with this net zero silliness, obviously being spearheaded by Ed Milliband. And, one of the things about Tony Blair is that he's from what you might term the intellectual heart of Labour High Command. He's one of the people who still sits at that table, for want of a better word to put it, and he's allowed to come out periodically and just throw his oar in, as is his wont to do, as an ex-PM and somebody who is quite, holds a position still within the Labour Party itself. And quite rightly, what he's done is he's come out and said, in, not to put too fine a point on it, that this net zero stuff isn't working. The public's not on board. It's costing too much money. And what does it matter if, we're not the first to do it? Why not just go with what the world's doing at the moment? And that's, slowly working these policies in whilst getting the very best out of the natural resources. In many ways, we're one of those countries that have bought in and drank the Kool-Aid on this, and as it's transpiring, it's not working. The climate jobs are not coming as they were promised. That they were going to start flowing into the economy as the other jobs relating to, North Sea oil, for instance, as they go out, these green jobs replace them. But of course, there are no green jobs there because it was all just a fantasy, a mirage in Ed Milliband's mind. And so what Tony Blair's done here is really illuminated one of the problems with this current Labour Party. They've got, on top of the economy, they've got the border crisis going on, and they've got this net zero stuff which is going on, which is dramatically affecting the country. You can't have everything. You can't have all of the growth for businesses, whatever that might mean to the Labour Party. You can't have net zero. You can't have increases to public sector. You can't have everything that you want. That's not how it works. And what Tony Blair's come out and said here is, look, all of this wording about ending, phasing out, reducing fossil fuels, all of this about responsibility and loss and damage, he said, frankly, there's no time for that anymore. Right? We need to stop getting hysterical about it, and just go back to using our natural resources and working in these solutions over longer stretches of time. And that's pretty obvious there. If you look at places like China, at places like India, they haven't stopped. They're not just going to stop doing stuff to the climate, creating new power stations and coal-fired this and all the rest of it. They're not going to stop. We're the only place that's stopping that. And, in this, Tony Blair is 100% correct. What this net zero is doing, it's actually putting the British economy to the detriment of other economies, particularly the Chinese economy. These targets, these net zero targets, and carbon capture and funding overseas climate aid, it's all just gotten a little bit ahead of itself. And I think of all of the people to buy into this, you've got to look at the person who pushes this, not only Keir Starmer because he allows it to happen, but Ed Milliband as well. So he is out there in an evangelical way telling us we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's just all a load of rubbish. And we've got Mr. Miliband here smashing the cost of our bills with huge taxes on the energy companies. Net zero is just a fantasy. one day power will be free, without a doubt. But you can't force it to happen. You can't say that has to be, that bit of technology has to be made by X date. It's just not going to happen. Over longer stretches of time, we will make slow gains moving towards free energy. Anyway, thanks very much for your time.